Hello, and welcome to Change the Face of Yoga, teaching toddlers through golden oldies. I'm very excited to be talking to lots of yoga teachers who will explain their passion for teaching yoga to students with different ages, physical fitness levels, wellness levels, and different goals. They will explain the benefits of yoga for these students and will be including teacher tips and pose modifications. I am Stephanie Cunningham of Yoga Lightness, and I've been teaching over 50s for 10 years. So this area is my passion and the passion of many other yoga teachers that you will be listening to in this series. Thank you so much for listening, and let's get started. This is episode 23 of Changing the Face of Yoga. I'm talking to Patty Stevens, who volunteers at a drug rehabilitation center for women. She brings the precepts of yoga and the tools of breathing, relaxation, and movement to help in their rehabilitation process and to also give them some tools for helping them after they leave the center. Let's go talk to Patty. And I am very pleased to have my guest, Patty Stevens, who is a yoga teacher and a Pilates teacher and Qigong and several other things. She's really very talented. What she did was, after 25 years of marriage and owning a business, Patty got divorced, sold pretty much everything, and moved across the country, knowing no one and having no job, which is very courageous, I think. But having a healthy, balanced lifestyle helped her to survive and thrive. Now she combines this knowledge she achieved through this move with her experience as a Pilates, yoga, and Qigong instructor, Holy Fire Reiki master/teacher, and essentials oil advocate to create programs for women to bring their life into balance. She's been recognized on guest blogs and submits her own advice on ageless living. And she has a website, which we'll get into later. She lives in Las Vegas, which I definitely want to talk about. And when she's not sailing or going for an aerobatic ride, she lives with her husband and her 2 dogs. And I had to look up aerobatic, and it's fancy flight in little planes. Is that correct, Patty?
Aerobatics? Yes.
Yes.
Where you go upside down.
Oh, geez. Okay. I learned how to fly little planes. The thought of going upside down is very upsetting to me.
Well, it helps to have an experienced pilot.
I'm sure. Yes, because I know I wouldn't be able to do that. Okay. Okay, so my first question is, you can probably tell even though I live in Australia, I am from the States, and I've been in Las Vegas. And why did you decide on Las Vegas when you didn't know anyone there?
I just knew I did not like the weather in Michigan. Sorry if you're listening from Michigan, but I wanted to get out of the snow and to a more sunny, and I hate to say the word warm because it's like 120 here today, but warmer climate year round. And I pretty much just threw a dart on the map and said, where do I want to live? And that's how I ended up here.
Wow. Well, I appreciate that. I grew up in Colorado. So when I moved, I definitely wanted to go someplace that didn't have snow and was warmer. So I'm down on the coast, which I really like. But Las Vegas is an interesting place, and I'll have to admit that I've never been anywhere but in the casinos. So I probably have a very unbalanced view of
right. Most people don't realize there's a Zen side here, a huge Zen side to the city. And in addition to regular life off the strip and the casinos, there is, like I say, regular life, but there's a whole community here of just real spiritual. It's kind of, in a way, it's like Sedona, if you've ever heard of Sedona, where it's a very spiritual place because of the vortexes. And there's something about Las Vegas that just seems to attract a lot of spiritual people.
Oh, that's amazing. I would have never guessed that.
Most people don't.
Did you want to add anything else to your introduction, Patty?
Oh, no, you did a fine job. Thank you.
Okay, good.
And I'd like to thank you for inviting me to be here.
Oh, well, I enjoy talking to people and hearing their stories. It's always fascinating. And anybody that just moves to Las Vegas on a dartboard and does aerobatic flights, I'm impressed with. The thing we would like to talk about with Patty today is that she volunteers in a substance abuse facility for women. And she teaches them yoga and meditation. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. And at the end, we'll talk a bit about Patty's passion to help women who are midlife crisis, around that age, or whatever, and how to live a healthy, balanced life. So these women that are in this, is it a facility? Are they're residential, or is it
Yes.
more of a? It is residential.
They are in there. It's a voluntary in some respects, but a lot of them have been court appointed so that they have to go through this program to reduce their sentences. And then some are just admit themselves to go there. And it's mostly low income. It's not like one of these other recovery centers that we do have in town where it's $1,000 a day. This is strictly low income. It's a women's and children's facility, the one that I'm at. They have a lot of different facilities around town. They have facilities up on, we call it the mountain here. It's Mount Charleston. That's for men. And this one is in town. And they can also, if they are allowed to have their children, can have their children there too. They're going through a lot.
Yeah. Are the children in the yoga class?
No, this
Okay.
is just strictly for the women. I started doing it, about 4 or 5 years ago, and I just wanted to volunteer someplace.
Mhm.
And I still do it as a volunteer class. But I started first doing the Qigong there, which it's where Tai Chi came from. So it's a standing meditation, and you are guided, and it can help heal you. And then eventually I started adding the yoga to it. And now they have a whole spiritual community where they're actually organizing different spiritual activities. So now we've expanded it. And I also do Reiki there and incorporate the essential oils. So they're being introduced to things that they never heard of before. Or yoga they may have heard of, but they think it's that you have to stand on your head and be a pretzel.
Yep.
So by introducing this to them, it's expanding their horizons so that hopefully they will have something to relate to when they get out and not fall back into the habits that got them in trouble in the first place, which is really hard in this town.
Yeah, it would be. I hadn't thought about that. It is a tough town to
Right.
live a healthy, balanced life.
Exactly.
So the facility is the one that's expanding these spiritual offerings for these women?
Right.
Is that
The whole, yes, they expanded. They have non-denominational ministers. They offer pretty much anything the girls ask for. They even have like Buddhist chanting one night. They have, of course, the AA is very big. But if the girls ask for something, they will try and bring it in and get other volunteers to come in again to help them to focus so that when they get out, they have something to go to other than maybe just an AA meeting.
Yeah.
And to expand their horizons. Because, like I say, these are mostly low income, so they've never been exposed to anything like this before.
What kind of benefits have you seen for the women in expanding their knowledge in this area?
Well, what I do in the class when we do yoga, I am more interested in, not that they learn the asanas or anything like that. I focus on stretching and breathing and the meditation part, because that's what they need. So many of them have, they might be young, but they've had multiple pregnancies and their backs are hurting them all the time. Plus their diets are so poor. And so by just offering the class as a gentle stretch class and getting them to learn to breathe, to meditate, to relax, it really helps. I also do with them a drum meditation sometimes, which, introduces them to another type of meditation. So it's all about just getting them to be able to focus, to concentrate on how their body feels, and to get them to move. That is a big thing, because so many of them a lot of them have aches and pains brought on by their addiction because they've been hurt, or, they have just never moved. And so this just gets them to get that energy flowing and everything. It helps them to, obviously feel better.
Let's explore that drum meditation a bit. What exactly does that entail?
Okay. It's a journey. Where most meditations are guided meditations, except for Savasana that you do at the end. But, most of the time we're familiar with guided meditations where we're in a meadow, we're walking down the meadow to the water and so on, where the drum meditation is more shamanic and it's journeying. So it's just set up to get you to relax. And then I play the drum, different rhythms, whatever I'm guided to, and they go on a journey. You just never know where it's going to take you. And so, some of them, and this is for anybody, not just because they have an addiction, but it opens you up. It can help you to reconnect to things that you've forgotten about or to things that you need to learn. And most of all for them, it's just the fact, even when I do the Reiki circle with them, they have never sat still. And so by just getting them to relax, it's amazing, the change from the time they come in the room when we start to when we're finished. And a lot of times they fall asleep, which is fine. That's what their bodies need. But the drum, they're finding that different types of sound do help to heal. So I also have tuning forks and singing bowls. So using that also helps them to heal because it triggers something in your brain, the sound waves.
I've never known that to be attached to meditation, but I can understand where it could be quite valuable, really.
It is. And like you say, sometimes, they get that when we talk about it after, they'll say, oh, nothing happened. I just fell asleep. And then other times, some girls will go into these stories of where they went and who they saw and what they did, that's great. So there's, as in any type of meditation, there's no right or wrong. But this is just something different. And that drum, the beat of the drum is just so soothing.
Well, that's interesting. I teach, and I've been teaching meditation this term, and I didn't use drumming. I might use it the next time that I teach a term of meditation. Just, different ways to do it. Because, of course, I'm sure you agree with me. Everybody's
right. Like I say, we're mostly used to a guided meditation. And so this is something that is totally different. And it's different than singing bowls and tuning forks and that. So, like I say, the girls really seem to enjoy it, although I tease them that the only reason they like it is because they just get to lay there and go to sleep. But hey, if that's what they need, then so be it.
So why were you interested in volunteering for this group?
Actually, I was just interested in volunteering someplace. I always told myself that if I had time, I was going to volunteer. And I thought, well, when I started asking around at different places in town, and they were like, well, you can drive people to appointments and this and that. And I thought, well, yeah, but so can anybody do that. So that's when I started kind of pitching the Qigong. And it just so happened that this place was actually the first one to respond. And I didn't actually start out at the Women's and Children's Center. I started at one of their outpatient places and then was able to move over to the Women and Children's because it was very close to my house.
I see.
But now, like I say, now that they have this whole spiritual program, it's really evolving. And they're bringing it into, they have an alumni group. So I will go and do Reiki or drumming for them once a month. So it's expanding, and I'm glad that I'm with them, even though it's still a volunteer.
Well,
But, I enjoy giving
If you
back.
found the right volunteer position, though, it's very, very
Right.
satisfying. Yeah.
Right.
It's just finding the right one. I've found is the
Exactly.
difficult part. Yeah.
Exactly.
So you wanted to volunteer. What is the benefit to you for doing this particular volunteer activity?
Well, like I say, it's exposing them to something they probably never would have ever considered. Like I say, their idea of yoga is you have to be flexible, it's going to hurt my back, and this and that. So by showing them, even just standing in Tadasana, mountain pose, where you're just standing there, I tell them, hey, you're doing yoga, and they look at me like I'm crazy, but it's a valid pose. So it's just, like I say, being able to expose them to that. It's the same with the Reiki. Most of them never heard of Reiki or, even using essential oils. So the more that these girls can be exposed to and want to investigate when they are released from this program, the better it's going to help enrich their lives. And we provide them with places around town that they can go for little or no money for different types of classes and Reiki circles. Again, to get them involved in a different type of community than falling back into the one that got them into this place in the first place.
No, that's really smart, I think. Do you have any funny stories about what might have happened in your classes that you would feel comfortable sharing?
Not really. Not really funny, because they're actually pretty serious about it, the ones that do attend. I think it's so fulfilling, I guess would be the word, to see how they actually will take to the classes, especially, okay, the yoga, yes, but a lot of them complain because, like I say, it hurts them to move or they never have moved. So I keep it very easy, just for some gentle stretching, but working on the breathing. And then when they say, like I say, when they come in, they might be stressing and everything. And then when they leave, they're like amazed. They just can't believe the change that comes over them. And so to me, that's the best part. I'm not trying to make yogis out of them or Reiki masters or anything like that. But just the best part is being able to expose them and then have something for them to be able to continue with, introducing them to something they never would have considered before.
And when they come to the class, is this on their own volition, or are they told to do that by the people in the facility?
They have a choice. During the time that I'm there, they have the choice of 2 classes. One is art and one is my class. So those are the 2. So it's pretty well divided, and it's kind of good. At one point, it was mandatory for all of them, but it was just too many. So that's why they decided to make a choice. And some girls just, did not like it. And you can only force somebody so much because they are still there fairly voluntarily. So we get a pretty good turnout, at least, half the ladies. There's usually about 12 to 15 at a time. I do have to say they really take to the Reiki, the energy work of the Reiki. And so, like I say, then the weeks that we do the yoga and the meditation, some of the girls may not attend and they choose to do art that week. But, hey, that's fine. Whoever needs it is there.
Yeah. Well, let's explore the Reiki a little bit. For the people that are listening and may not quite know what Reiki is, could you explain that to us first?
Okay, Reiki is energy work. It's energy that is channeled through me because I have been attuned to receiving the Reiki. Now, I don't do the healing. It is just you put your hands on, you don't actually touch the people. You keep your clothes on. It's not a massage. And you just hold your hands in various places on their head, their shoulders, their throat. And with your intention, you're sending healing energy to them. So a lot of times the girls will say they have a headache when they come in. And we do a couple minutes of Reiki on them. And they sit there and relax. And they'll say that it goes away. So again, it's something new they have never been exposed to before. They probably on their own I mean, many people won't even try it on their own who aren't in this program. So this way, at least they'll feel comfortable if they want to go to a Reiki circle around town. They'll know what to expect. It's energy healing. It's like Qigong. It's like Tai Chi. And it's all energy that is channeled. You can do it on people. I do it on animals as well. It can be done in person. It can be done distantly. So if you ever are familiar with energy work, and I like to equate this, the thing that people understand most is most people know what acupuncture is, where you go in and the needles go into a meridian to open up the flow of oxygen and energy through your system because we become imbalanced. We get these blockages. So what Reiki does, it opens these. It gets the energy flowing through your body to help the body to heal itself. Pretty much like I say, acupuncture does. So it's a different form of energy work, and it's all related to healing.
And a Reiki circle would be this happening outside of the facility where...
Well, I do one at the facility, but we do have them around town. And all it is you sit in a circle and meditate. You don't, just close your eyes and meditate. And then the facilitators will go around and do anywhere from 3 to 5 minutes of Reiki on a person. Where, a normal Reiki session is anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour, hour and a half. So this is just a brief, but at a circle, you may get 2 or 3 different people working on you. So the energy is different coming from everybody. It's different.
Let me just explore that. You said coming from everybody. So everybody's helping the person that's doing...
I'm sorry, not the people sitting in the circle who came to receive it. There are people at these circles who give the Reiki. Okay. So there are also other Reiki masters or even just level 1 Reiki. Some of the circles allow any type of energy work. So some people might do tuning forks. Some might do even the EFT tapping. Any type of energy work is usually allowed at most circles.
You said that you are, I like this, Holy Fire Reiki Master. What does that mean exactly?
Okay. In Reiki, there are different levels. There's level 1 Reiki, which is, if you learn that is for self-healing. Reiki 2 teaches you to do it on others. And then Reiki 3 and your master's is just more advanced, teaching you how to do it distantly and so on. The Holy Fire is just your regular Reiki, but enhanced. And in Reiki, you're given healing symbols to use. So each level introduces new symbols to help you send that energy to the people. So, Like I say, you can be a level 1 Reiki, or you can go up to the master.
All right. Well, I just found that was a very interesting statement, so I wanted to know what that meant.
Right.
Okay. You've been doing this about 4 or 5 years, did you say?
Well, actually, the Reiki and that, yes. I did not do any of the more spiritual things that I do now prior to moving to Las Vegas, which is kind of strange. Like you say, everybody thinks you live in a casino here.
Not really.
But I started delving more into the spiritual things after moving here. And I found that Zen side of the city. So it's been the last few years. I always used essential oils, but now have used them more and incorporate that in the yoga and the Reiki. Anything that I do, I will use crystals and do chakra balancing, chakra healing. And so that it's all just evolved and all works together.
Do you attribute this new interest or expanded interest in the spiritual side to Las Vegas, or to the fact that you said you were having a midlife crisis, if that's what you want to call it, or the
Probably
fact that
a little bit of everything.
Really?
It's just,
okay.
It's, people will get drawn to things like this when the time is right for them. And the timing was just right. I mean, I never thought I would be a Reiki master or even a yoga instructor, but the timing was right. And then more doors opened. So it's, the universe provided it.
Okay. I have met a lot of women who seem to get interested in these kinds of things as they get older. And I was just wondering if you also had that experience, or it just seems to be like you said, when you need it, you find it.
Right. Well, a lot of it, like I say, the oils, the crystals, I, taught dance. So the movement, all that has always been a part of my life. And clean eating, so to speak, to keep it easy, has always been a part of my life. So living healthy, not using toxins and chemicals in products has always been a part of my life. So this just came at the right time and added more to it. And now it's kind of come full circle where I can combine everything of my whole life experience to helping other women.
That's an interesting statement. I've combined my whole life experience. I'm wondering if that is really an age-related thing. Obviously, you have to have the age to have had all these experiences, but to have the wisdom,
somebody at 20 can't say that they've combined their whole life experience. So,
I also have to have the wisdom to know what parts of those experiences were something that you want to carry forward and share. And I think
that comes with age. Being
all
able.
You young people, there are good things about age.
Well, there's a lot of good things, yes. But like I say, it's just now that I found that I can combine everything. It's into the coaching and then all the little things that I do that are separate. But it's putting together pretty much, I guess you might say, a lifetime of work, and now I'm giving back.
It's a very beautiful thought. We only have a couple minutes left, but let's get a bit into your coaching, just to tell people how you've actually taken your knowledge and put it into a way of helping other people. So what is this living balanced?
Naturally.
Living naturally. There we go. Just a little explanation
of
that before.
So the coaching, I help women at a crossroad in life. We don't always want to say mid-age, but at a crossroad, bring their life into balance, body, mind, and spirit. So many women, they're getting into their 40s and they have the empty nest, or they're looking at retirement and they're going like, oh my gosh, I've never, I've worked all my life, or I've raised my children. What am I going to do? I know I need to take care of myself. Maybe they've even had a health scare. So the programs that I offer help them to learn to find a type of exercise that they like, to learn to eat right. I'm not a nutritionist, so I don't put people on diets, but just introducing them to healthy eating. And then to explore the spiritual side, to take time out to reduce that stress and find something that works for them. And so, like I say, to bring your life into balance so that you can live it and be healthy and not look at getting older as like, oh my gosh, I'm going to have these aches and pains and I'll never get out of the rocker, or I can't do this because I'm too old. Where, like I always say, age is just a number.
Okay, I think that's really needed in some ways, because I think it's a whole package of living.
Right, and so many people just freak out. They don't know where to start. Like I say, they may have had a health scare, and it's like the doctor says, well, you need to do this, you need to do that. And they're going like, but I don't know, I can't. I've always just grabbed fast food. Well, how am I going to make food? What am I going to do to eat? So it's just taking them through baby steps to get them to learn to live a healthy lifestyle. And then they will be able to enjoy their life as they progress.
It also provides a platform to start from, to really find out what you want to do with the rest of your life. If you're looking at retirement, or if you're looking at an empty nest.
Right.
It's a lot easier if you're healthy.
Exactly. And that's what I like to do, is keep people healthy and change that mindset that just because you're at a certain age doesn't mean your life is over.
Well, to our listeners, let me tell you how you can get in touch with Patty. She has a Facebook page called Live Balanced Naturally. And she has a website, which is again www.livebalancednaturally.com. And she's also on a speaker page, which is www.myspeakerpage.com/Patty Stevens. She also has a YouTube, but I'll put that in the show notes because we'll never get that through. Patty, is there anything you'd like to finish up with?
Well, if you go to my webpage, there is a free book that you can download. It's called Tips to Live Agelessly Pizzazzed. And then I do offer a free consultation, a lifestyle clarity session to see where you might need help or want to improve your life. So we can sit down and chat about that. And, just basically, I think it's that everybody just needs to keep moving and eating right and forgetting about their age.
Great. I'll go with that one. Okay. Well, thank you so much, Patty. It's been really fascinating to hear, especially about your volunteer work and also your coaching. So thank you so much for coming on the podcast.
Well, thank you for inviting me. I enjoyed it.
Thank you for that wonderful interview. If you would like to be a guest on Changing the Face of Yoga, please go to my website, www.yogalightness.com.au, and under the Changing the Face of Yoga tab, you can complete Be Our Guest form. After reviewing the form and finding it applicable to this podcast, we will send you a link to schedule an interview. Please download, review, and tell your friends of any podcasts that are of interest to you and to them. If you would like to contact me, send an email to info@yogalightness.com.au. And thank you for listening to Changing the Face of Yoga.